Good morning, Paul. It's Tuesday, the 15th of November. Here's the heads up brief for today.
Go ahead. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Paul, in Indonesia, there was an interesting mining-related protest in South Sulawesi, Indonesia, yesterday. Truck drivers and miners protested against mine closures in the area. There are sand mines uh, open there. Now, the closures are because the mines lack permits and because residents have opposed them due to the environmental effects. But interestingly, there's also allegations of police involvement in the illegal mining there.
Surprise, surprise. Now, look, I'd like to know the exact locations if you get the team to build me a map, okay? And
Yeah.
preferably what are the major owners there of the relevant mines, okay? The legal part of it, okay?
Yeah, we'll get
Thanks.
you that, Paul. Moving over to Malaysia, Paul, there's early voting in Malaysia today, and the government has declared that November 18th and 19th will be public holidays for the general elections. The elections of,
It's Friday, Saturday, yeah?
yeah, the elections are on the
Okay,
Saturday.
thank you.
Yep. In Myanmar, Paul, a military helicopter accidentally killed 60 government troops in the Saigon region on Sunday. Now, the troops were allegedly burning villages when they were mistaken for rebels and fired upon. We're still waiting for more details to come out.
That's a classic, isn't it? We were mistaken for being looting villages because that's how we act, and we got shot up in our own friendly fire. I mean, only in Myanmar would they have managed that one.
Right, Paul. In Thailand, Paul, so Bangkok's governor has requested that protest groups only demonstrate at the public space opposite City Hall during the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. That's the designated protest zone.
It'll be interesting to see if they are contained to that area. It'll be a good indicator of how society is perceiving the governor amidst the current government setup in Thailand and Bangkok. Interesting to watch. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely, Paul. So in Timor-Leste, Paul, police arrested several protesters in Dili yesterday. A protest group had announced that it would hold protests every Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays for 2 months against the government's parliament spending on various things such as cars and laptops.
Yeah, for ministers, of course, not for anybody else. Interesting to see. I saw your some very good build up to that. You gave clients a lot of notification that was likely to go off, and indeed it did. So hopefully the clients heeded the warning and let their people know. All right, mate, and over to Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, Paul. So over there, there's two tribes in the Western Highlands and the Lumasa area. They've agreed to lay down their weapons. Now, 7 people have been killed in violence over the last few months, since the elections took place, although the conflict is not election related.
Yeah, okay. Laid them down for a period of time until the hoo-ha goes away and then pick them up or pick other ones up again. All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, Paul. So moving over to South Asia, there's a doctors' protest in Karachi in Pakistan today. There is the potential for violence as protesters will be marching to the chief minister's house. And the doctors' strike has also disrupted healthcare provision across Sindh province, which has resulted in the deaths of people.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Also in Pakistan, Paul, hundreds of people threatened to block the China-Pakistan economic corridor to Gwadar in Balochistan. Gwadar is where is the major Chinese invested port project over there. They're demanding a ban
Yes.
on illegal trawling, for authorities to remove checkpoints, and in the past they've also protested for jobs on these projects, which they haven't received.
Okay, it's a little hotbed, that area. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Paul, in Nepal, the general elections will be held on November 20th, and there's increasing clashes and political violence in some parts of the country.
Okay, it'll be interesting to see how the Marxists perform. So after the election, can we just do a bit of a representation of the House seats there?
Yeah, definitely, Paul. We'll do an analysis after the results come out.
Thank you.
Yeah. Paul, in the Europe, Middle East, and Africa regions, it's mainly the cost of living crisis. There's a nationwide protest against the cost of living in Guinea, in Africa. There were protests in Spain and a massive strike yesterday over the same issue. And yeah, that situation continues in Europe.
Okay, so it's mainly the energy fuel costs coupled with supply chain issues that have followed on from COVID. So we're not expecting that to go away. But actually, if it's only Spain and Guinea, it's a bit calmer than EMEA has been for a while.
Yeah, but I'm sure there'll be protests that'll come up in Germany and France over the next few days, and we'll.
I'm sure there
Oh
will
yeah.
be. Okay, great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.